Hey, everybody. All right, I am back. And today we have some interesting footage. A place we've never seen before. This is Daisy's Temple. This is brought to us by somebody named Ruru Adventures, a bit of an outlier in the Daisy world, not from one of our regular contributors. Um, I don't know who this person is, but they gained access to the inside of her. Who's living in a van now. Um, they really stepped up patrols on the beach, and I guess like twice a day or something, the middle of the night. As we know, they were, getting people off the beach, constantly making the move. And I'm assuming that the idea is to basically wear them down until they leave, which is ridiculously inefficient. But that's a whole nother story with how they handle this entire issue here in Southern California. So, anyway, let's check out the inside of her temple. We're going to listen to her talk about it. This is going to be a little more of a, I don't know, kind of a downbeat, kind of assessing a different aspect of her personality because she's not really going off the rails here in this one. And also, I am fully aware that she is a very broken person. And I do, of course, comment on her more erratic behavior, ridiculous comments, is something that's very fascinating, very entertaining. But I also understand she's come from very tough circumstances, which has absolutely contributed to this behavior. And we're going to see a little bit more of that. I'm going to talk a little bit more of that here because I like to get a balance in. Well, it's not all about fun and games, is it? So let's get cracking here.
Journalist? Yeah, don't know how to do interview questions, so
It's funny. I like this person's voice. She sounds like a little cartoon character. Wonder how she got, how she, met Daisy and got into her. Who knows? She's a goddess.
Let you. I can help you. I'll coach you. Okay.
And she's going to coach her with an interview. So here we have, once again, complete control, which is always handy.
Basically,
Prepared.
I'm going to just do what I would normally do and talk about what I'm doing, and then you will naturally be curious.
I love this. She's the director, Cecil B. DeMille. Daisy, kind of giving everybody this. No spontaneity. Everything's got to be laid out exactly to plan. So here we go.
About what I'm doing, and you can ask me questions about my temple. Okay. And I will talk about my sanctuary and what this space is, and we will tell a story. So, Pete,
I wonder how often that van has to be moved, like how they're dealing. I mean, like where it is, and because there's 72-hour max parking here in LA. Of course, we know rules are broken constantly here, but I just wonder how this is set up.
So everyone, why don't we tell a story in this video? Yes.
Don't do what you want to do, Miss Interviewer Ruru. Do what I want you to do. There you go.
About sanctuary. Sanctuary. So I want you to know and share with you guys, pink is for love. So if you haven't done pink yet, you can put pink for your love healing journey for 2025. And so I just wanted to share that little note with you guys.
I think that that pink back there, if you were watching like this past summer, it's turned into like almost like a bird watching hobby for me. Was going on to that Venice cam every day and just seeing if I could spot her little, setup out there fluttering in the wind. She had her little tent out on that hill for a little bit of time. And every day I would kind of see, okay, there it is. Now I can go on with my day because I know she's out there, and I like I'm birding, checking with my binoculars. There she is. I can see her out there. Well, it's kind of fun. But she's not out there anymore.
The colors that you like to help you feel good. Happy colors, because this is a happy video.
Okay. It's weird.
I love it.
So it's kind of like something you would hear at like a mental institution. This is a happy time. We're having a good time, aren't we?
We're filming? Yes. Okay, good.
Yes, camera's rolling.
So this is where it all goes down. This is where all the fluffing happens. And the primping.
She does that all day, everywhere, especially Starbucks. Starbucks is the big place for the fluffing, primping, examining oneself constantly.
And in this space, there are no thoughts.
Mm.
In my temple, I practice breathing. You'll see how like clear it is.
Mm-hmm.
The walls are very clear and very silky and helps my brain be very clean.
That look, that's it helps her brain be smooth, a smooth brain.
And big. And my brain loves everything to be tidy. So this is my temple. And
She's thinking about her life up to this point. I'm pretty sure. Um, she's a busy woman. I just still think about like all the stuff that happened just last summer with the arrests and the court, constantly going to court, and then the battles with the boyfriends and just nonstop conflict. With dealing with like if she's got the like last time I was saying the open relationships and then having to know everything about the other woman. It's just constant you know, uh, expenditure of energy on these things that is just 100% avoidable, but not with her. They have to happen. They have to be conjured up, created, and then pushed through. And then when that's done, a new thing has to start
when
up.
I first got in here, I didn't want to be here. I wanted to be at my temple at the beach. And it was too much for me to have like a temple at the beach and this place here and have to worry about my basic needs because
Yeah, it is too much. It's illegal. Camping on the beach is illegal, and she enjoys doing things that are illegal, and then complains about the consequences, which is all part of that expenditure of energy.
it takes a lot of energy to have to worry about
It
like where am
does.
I going to charge? Where am I going to wash my face? Where am I going to shower?
The sad thing about this is, if she wasn't so difficult, she probably could roommate with somebody. She doesn't have to be sitting in this van sanctuary. Um, this is what's kind of sad about it, is that I think people would be willing to help her, but she can't. I mean, I think about she could still be with Prince. They could have an apartment if she just didn't have this, this thing that's in her that destroys everything. And this is what's kind of maybe I should wait until the end of the video to get into where I think this is all coming from, because I don't think it's possible for her to get along with anybody for more than 5 minutes. It's just overwhelming for the other person. There really is no consideration as far as like what the other person thinks, feels, is experiencing, or whether they can handle giving Daisy everything she needs all the time, constantly, exactly the way she needs it and wants it. Um, Nobody can fulfill that. People have their own lives. They're busy. They got to work, or they've got other things they're thinking about. And that's like a crime in her world, especially when it comes to the men. She could have a comfortable little apartment at the beach with Prince. They don't have to get married. You can live with him. He'll make you dinner. He liked to cook, right? He didn't seem like a particularly contentious guy. I'm sure not perfect. But she could have her beach time, her hangout time, and she could go home and have a shower and food. It could happen, but it can't happen, because she destroys everything.
Where am I going to bathe? Now I want to wash my hair. Like so these things take time. And when our basic needs are up, we cannot think about our meaning and purpose. And typically my temple, like the space you see here, anyone can get to.
I think part of the thing with her never-ending quest for meaning and purpose is that she refuses to seek gainful employment, and I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that there is fulfillment, working and taking care of yourself, being able to these things she's kind of concerned about not having. Well, I mean, gainful employment will offer this up, but that is part of the market economy that she rejects. But then she complains that she doesn't have anything. Um, doing meaningful work. She's got a lot of idle hours on her hands where nothing's going on, and is just sucking coffee at Starbucks, although she's quit the coffee. Um, and having something, meaningful, you feel you're contributing to something, is a very human thing. And she does nothing during all day except, I guess, hang out and talk to people about the 5 steps, uh, trying to find her meaning and purpose. And I think that's going to elude her for
And
a long time.
this is all my belongings. I don't need much. And a lot is done. Everything is done. And there's vivacious, amazing, expansive abundance.
Vivacious abundance. I don't believe that she believes what she's saying here. I think she's trying to talk herself into or hanging on to a fantasy that if you have nothing, you've got everything. And it's just going to be kind of given to you, or should be given to you. I guess with your tribe.
I always feel triumphant and energized.
I don't believe that either. No, you don't.
Never like I'm going without.
A minute ago, she was worried about going without. So we've got kind of, now things have changed.
Absolutely not. I always feel incredible. And I want my temple, although simple and not having much stuff, to be like really important, really like special and important and available to anyone.
Okay, so this is interesting because I remember, and it's too bad all these videos were deleted, but they're all in my mind. She really flipped out, towards the end there with Prince when they were in that second apartment because she, destroyed his opportunity to live in the first one. And I remember the hinges were ripped off the door. There was like a major flip out that happened. And I guess she destroyed like some furniture. I don't know. She just really, really had a meltdown. And he went running, probably for the better. um, a lot of contention there. And she was standing there in the doorway looking out, blaming him for everything. Well, that's standard. And saying she was going to invite, goddesses can come and show up at the temple was his apartment that he was still paying for. And she was just going to have people come in and take advantage of the place that she wasn't even, it's so toxically parasitical. What her thinking is just shit all over the men, run them out, and then just set up shop and have, other needy women come. Although most of the women that she knows are kind of self-sufficient. That's one thing she doesn't share with them.
Right. And what that means is like, I'm special and important. And usually that's not available to everyone. But I am available to everyone. And we're all special and important. But I make myself available to everyone. And this is my sanctuary.
So, I kind of believe that. I mean, what we're witnessing here, of course, is a devastating result of, and, I'm just going to have to accept this as a fact until other information comes to light. But she was molested. She said she was molested by her grandfather from the age of like 5 or 6 until about 16. She isn't going to know. Well, I'm just going to, now that my thoughts are in this area, basically every man she meets she's punishing every man for what her grandfather did to her. I think that is how she's processing it. And I do believe, we do see some of her sweetness in there. I mean, I met her. I went down to Venice because, I got into all the Santa Monica close-up videos and, all the characters down there. And it's like, I got to get down there and actually see her in person. I want to meet her. And I did. I talked to her for a few minutes. She's very friendly. She may look kind of like, sometimes these videos, they don't make her look that great. A lot of times she's filming up her nose, and people say she looks, pretty beat up. She's pretty. She's pretty. And she's friendly. She had to rush off on her skateboard over to John's apartment. And I met Yoshi, and I went over to the famous bathrooms. I was just as excited to see the bathrooms, and where all the fights and people are constantly being taken out of the bathroom stalls. I have some footage of that stuff, and I never uploaded it because I didn't think that was really the focus of this. But what I'm saying is, I do think she does have a sweet side. She was. What would she have become? Here's my question: if she had not gone through that experience with her grandfather, who was the ambassador, U.S. ambassador in Paraguay. That's where she was raised with, and her mother was there. I think she has a brother. She has a sister. I don't know. This is where the information is sketchy, so I want to kind of stay with what I've heard. Um, what would she have become if she was raised in a little more of a normal circumstances? Um, because look, man, when you move through life, you don't get any redos. Okay, you go through once from A to Z, and she will never know and could never possibly understand what real childhood should be like, where you've got, you're not dealing with heavy shit. You shouldn't be. Um, and you move through things get more complex gradually as you move into puberty and you get more interested in boys or girls or whatever you're into. You should be, joined up with age appropriate peers who were all kind of moving and learning together at a comfortable pace where you're not. And this, I feel sorry for her for this, because I think that it's clearly severely damaged her, and every man is paying the price. I'm sure her grandfather's dead. She's never going to be able to, I don't even know if she ever talked to him or had any kind of, had it out with him. Probably why she got into the abusive dominatrix thing, or she liked to beat the shit out of men, and she'd find men who wanted to be beaten, and then it's like everybody's getting their psychological needs met, I guess, for an hour. But definitely, that is still, that'll probably be with her for the rest of her life. She lost her kids because of the behavior. It doesn't appear that she really had any relationship with her father, the violinist, Eugene Fodor, who had addiction issues of his own. Very talented. I think there is some talent. I think Daisy does have some sort of, she's got a good imagination. She's got something, but it's just unharnessed. And her father was able to make a pretty good career out of his music, but he was waylaid with drug addiction. And he actually, there's an interview on YouTube where he talks openly about it. I mean, at least he had some, focus and made something of his life. But he died of cirrhosis of the liver. He was just, he couldn't, he had problems, and she may have inherited that. There could be a combination of inheriting the addiction issues, the molestation, and then who was the real Daisy? Is it the sweet? When we see her in more gentle moods, we'll never really know. It's so interesting, isn't it? How a person can take so many different paths depending on who they are inherently and what they have experienced. The old nature nurture.
And I need to have a home too,
Yes, that would be good.
because living at the beach, I would have to have a bigger tribe.
I'm going to comment on the tribe thing. I live in LA, and we got a lot of homeless here. We got a lot of mental illness on the streets. The situation in Venice, I think, is handled miserably. It should be flat out banned. The tolerance for rebuilding, when they go back over and over and over and over and over and every week, the same people being pulled out of those restroom stalls, which are disgusting, by the way. There's so many better ways of handling it, but we just can't get ourselves to put our foot down. But this tribe that I don't think there is, I have not observed in any of these videos that there is a cohesive tribe down there. It just looks like a bunch of individual people in their own little worlds out there with their own issues, problems, fixations, obsessions, addictions. She's down there kind of expecting like protection. These are not healthy, normal people who, are working together like a functioning human. It's just it's an open air. A lot of LA is like an open air asylum. and she seems to be thinking that a large group of people protecting her, kind of like a fantasy of, like, living in the old, like on the plains or something back when we were Neolithic. I don't know that that really works today.
You have to be more than just me. You have to have a lot of us. So in this world, right now, I have to have like a home base and then a beach temple, because what you see is not much, but it's so important.
Maybe she is still set up on the beach. When I went to say hi, her little setup was pulled back onto the boardwalk area, uh, because they were like pestering, and she was actually complaining to me that she was trying to keep the area clean. She's trying to pick up litter and keep her little grassy hill clean, but they just still kept pulling her away from it. So she doesn't seem to kind of accept or say out loud, you know what, it's illegal. That's why I can't live there. There's just she has to keep trying to go back to it. And it's illegal.
Special and important. So when it's special and important and available to anyone, then anyone can just come take what they want. And unless I have more goddesses, that just doesn't work.
Okay, so yeah, they can just take what they want. Kind of like, when I mentioned the thing about what happened at the end of the Prince thing, where she was left in this, wreckage of an apartment, and you just take what you want. Doesn't matter. Let somebody else pay for it.
Can't do that. So I create the same temple. See, with the pink, I could just have like an easy up. In the easy up, I could do the same thing. I mean, in fact, if you look at the walls, you don't know. We could be in an easy up. We could be in a temple at the beach. You don't know.
I wonder what she could have done for a living if she was more, I don't know, focused, not so obsessed with herself. And she has to be obsessed with herself because as a child she had no such. It was all taken away from her. That's what we're seeing here, is that she has to constantly be reclaiming and talking and focusing on herself. Maybe that's part of where narcissism comes in for a lot of people, is that they never had it. They never had what they needed for healthy development. So it's like a lifelong, constant draining of other people and focusing on themselves in order to fill that cup, which is never going to happen.
But actually, we're hidden on a lily pad in a van.
That's fun. I kind of like that idea.
It's undisclosed.
Yeah, it's kind of
literally floating on a lily pad. I know lily pads are on water, and I said a van.
It's okay. She's not happy. She's talking about her little fantasy of living on a lily pad, but you can tell there's a lot going through her mind.
Defying gravity.
I feel like she's almost about to cry here.
The difference is now we cannot tell people where we are. Where it's like, before, I could just have my temple on the open to everyone. Because I was just openly, like, breaking the rules.
Yeah, you were. You were breaking the rules, and in big ways. I don't know. It almost looks like I could almost believe she's a little circumspect here, but I think that there's probably going to be a lot more chapters of stuff happening. It's always interesting, what is going to be the next chapter. So that is the end of the video. It kind of stops right there. So whoever Ruru Adventures is, we must thank them, because they've given us a glimpse into something, the secret lily pad hideout. And as I said, this sort of is a little more kind of downbeat, kind of moving me into like a different area of her psyche, where I feel bad for her, and I wonder, what could she have done? She had been a teacher. I mean, like I said, she's got a good imagination. I like some of the imagery and everything, but it's just too, it's not. She has a hard time getting along with people. So anyway, I guess there are some other videos that have been uploaded. I'll get to them. There's some that are just when it's too much of her going on and kind of this manic, repetitive thing that we've heard so many times. I can't really go through those because it's just, I can't do it. It's boring. But maybe there's some little things I can pick and choose and kind of, tap into there. So anyway, I hope you like that. this latest chapter, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.